I'm enraged, I'm furious, I'll kill the MFers. And I'm thinking, I'm so pissed off, I'm pissed as hell, I'm angry. And then I'm hearing him say, I'm annoyed. I said, annoyed? I mean, that's it? He goes, well, and then he said, I'm a little tinkled. I said, tinkled? What are you talking about, right? And he's going, so in the middle of all this, I thought for a moment, I couldn't help it. I said, you know what? I don't think I've ever seen you really angry. What do you believe about getting angry? And he goes, I believe if you get angry, the other guy wins.
You lose, yeah, 100%.
Right? And I'm like, I never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
And this other guy believes, if you don't get angry, when I get angry, I get powerful. And I thought, when I get angry, I get sharp. But I also thought, when I'm really happy, I get sharp.
Yeah.
And it changed me. I started saying, okay, I call it transformational vocabulary because the words you attach to your experience, as I said, become your experience. I am humiliated. This is humiliating. My son is not the president of the United States. It's the most humiliating experience of my life. And as I'm listening to this going, my mom was always humiliated.
Yeah.
Do you know why? If there's a funnel of experience and it's painful,
Yeah.
he's going annoyed Pete, I'm going pissed off, and he's going, I'm gonna kill him, right? Yeah. My mom always uses the word for anything uncomfortable, for humiliated, so she's always humiliated. I literally took the word depression out of my vocabulary. I've never used it again. I felt down, I felt pissed off, I felt frustrated, I felt sad, I felt overwhelmed in moments, but I've never felt depressed, because when I was depressed, I got to the point where I was questioning whether it's worth it all, you know what I mean? And so your words shape your psychology. As stupid as that sounds, as overly simplistic as that sounds, or people give metaphors. They'll say, "Oh man, I'm like, I'm at the end of my rope," and I'll go, "Well, set it down and come over here." Like, what are you talking about? We hypnotize ourselves. Or somebody will say, "Well, that person stabbed me in the back," and I'll walk up to him and I'll lean them behind their back. I said, "I don't see anything." And you know what I mean? No, I don't. Yeah. Well, they betrayed me. Well, what did they do? And you dig in, they go, they told someone else something they said they wouldn't tell them. But the words escalated the emotion. And once they're there as a metaphor or as words, they control us. You are not starting over. That language is putting you in this place. He said, you couldn't possibly start over. He said, you could take everything from you. No one can take the man you become, the knowledge you have, the skill you have, the relationships you have, all those things. But starting over was my trance, being in pain. And when I stopped doing that, it's like, no, I'm starting fresh. I know that sounds simplistic. But linguistics change how the brain functions. People come to you 10, 15 times a day and tell you, changed my life. No, it's one of the things I enjoy most besides my family. But it's because I've trained myself never to take it for granted. Right? Is that helpful at all?
I remember the first time I wrote $1 million check and then multiple $1 million checks to charities, and I was just like, okay, I feel a couple $1 million poor, that's about it.
Yeah, because you're not emotionally associated anyway.
Zero. But I did the tours of the school, and I was like, I'm glad that this all,
you haven't
helped.
found the thing. I look at opportunities first to see, do I have passion for what it's about? Is it something that I would do for free if I felt it was really successful, that it felt fulfilling, it felt alive, it felt it was worth doing, right? Second thing I look for is, who are the people? I want people I'm gonna enjoy being with. Like, I would enjoy being with you in spite of this conversation sounding like I wouldn't, because I bring out more anabolic Alex. I bet your wife brings out more anabolic Alex, right? So I'm trying to make sure, if I was doing business with you, I'd make sure this guy was present, right? But I look at the people and I look at their heart and soul, what's driving them, and I also look at their skill, because you need both, right? A deal worth, 10 figures plus looked really good, ghosted us, ghosted us. Because and then I uncovered 3 or 4 things he'd done that were not great. And I was like, I just saved myself 3 to 5 years of pain. So I do believe in the practical side. You have to make an enjoyment a priority, which you've not. You've always gotten your priorities, brother. You're an overachiever. Yeah. But there's 2 skills in life. There's the science of achievement, which you're unbelievably great at, and there's the art of fulfillment, which you're not so great at, by your description.
Yeah.
The science of achievement, it's a science. Like you and I both know, if you want to make money, there's a science to it, right? If you want to be fulfilled, though, that's as unique as every human being you're going to meet. And so you haven't found that piece. You wrote those checks and things you don't give a shit about.
No,
right?
1,000. I mean, it's true.
So you felt poor, and then you probably felt bad about yourself for doing it.
I did.
I'm supposed to do good stuff, and why don't I feel good by doing good stuff? Because it's not your passion.
Like a piece of shit. I was like, I selfishly wrote these checks so that I would feel good, and now I don't even feel good, and now I'm just $2 million poor. The whole thing.
And by the way, question: head or heart was having that discussion?
Sure, head, of course, yeah.
So analytical. but by the way, as you're laughing about it now, who's in charge right now?
Yeah, anabolic. Yeah.
Right. that little shift, which sounds like nothing, I hope if nothing else you heard me say, you play with that just a little bit in your life and bring him to the table.
Like, what was the moment where, like, wealth felt achievable?
Yes.
So for me, it was $100,000 in my bank account.
Okay,
That
great.
was the moment. I wrote about it in my book. Layla and I were on the kitchen counter, and I was like, "Look, babe, we actually did it."
That's
It's
awesome.
Years
I
and
remember
years.
that moment too. It's
Yeah,
it's a good
and it
number.
was to this day the richest I've ever felt, and I think it's because it's the largest relative change in wealth I've ever experienced. Because
Got
you go
it.
from $1 to 100,000, you get 100,000x, and
Yeah.
you can't 100,000x 100,000 takes a lot longer than the one.
Right.
And that.
And
was,
by the way, once you get the 100,000, your brain expands, right?
yeah, you see what's possible.
It keeps bigger.
And so I think it was because the first time that I was able to go out of survival, I would love to help to live.
That's great. I love that. If I can help with it, count on me. I'm in to help you in any way I can. And there, I'll give you education material. Anything that you want to add to it, you're welcome to add to. I'll give it for free. But that's exciting, and I love the way you did that. You went back to a moment where you knew what it was for you.
Yeah.
So that's where the passion comes from, right?
Yeah.
You know. And by the way, that wasn't pain.
Yeah.
That passion was an excitement that you felt.
Well, 100,000 men at 100,000 is $1 billion in actual bank account wealth, and that sounds like a nice round number.
Yeah. Like a nice round number. help 100,000 men
Get 100,000.
get 100,000
Yeah.
and feel the way you felt from that day.
Yeah.
That's nice.